I would like to advise all those present that notice of this regular meeting of May 13th, 2026 has been provided to the public in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey. Notice of time and place of this meeting has been included in the annual notice of meetings, which was posted and filed with the city clerk and with the Bergen Record and Asbury Press. An additional notice of time and place was posted and filed with the city clerk and was forwarded to the Bergen Record and Star Ledger on May 8th, 2026. The regular meeting of the Municipal Council of the City of Bayonne is now in session. Ms. Medina, please call the roll.
Mr. Booker? Here. Mr. Carroll? Here. Mr. Perez?
Present.
Ms. Weimer? Here. Mr. La Palusa?
Here, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know a lot of people are here about the data center, so we're going to move the public speaking portion up to the front. And Ms. Medina, if you want to call, please everybody be respectful of everybody else so that we can hear all the comments. This is a 5-minute statement period, not a question and answer.
First speaker is Darlene Denega.
Okay.
Actually,
I'm here
excuse
for
me.
3 reasons.
Mr. Opal, would you want to read a statement first before we do the public speaking? This is our land attorney.
Do you want me to sit down?
Yes, just for a minute, and then we'll call you back up.
Good evening, Council. So last month, the Council adopted 2 resolutions. The first expressed its present intent not to support the establishment or expansion of data center uses within the city. And the Council, through that resolution, stated that it will not support the establishment, expansion, approval, endorsement, facilitation, or development of any new data center use in the city of Bayonne. The second resolution authorized the administration to investigate and determine whether previously passed ordinances that permitted data center uses could be rescinded as a permitted use within the city. And at the direction of the administration, we undertook that review. We've identified 3 redevelopment plans that permit data centers as an existing use. The most recent one was the New Hook Road redevelopment plan, which was amended in December of 2025. The second was the 6973 LaFonte Way redevelopment plan, which was adopted in December of 2022. And the other was the Exxon redevelopment plan, which was adopted in April of 2022. So these are all redevelopment plans. These aren't within the city's general land use ordinances. And in each, data centers are permitted uses. To date, the city hasn't received an application for a specific data center project. And there are none pending before this council or any of the land use boards. For any project proposed to operate as a data center within any of these redevelopment plan areas, the city council would be required to approve a redevelopment agreement for that use. Going back to the adoption of these ordinances, so in accordance with the redevelopment law, each redevelopment plan that permits these uses has to be submitted to the planning board for master plan consistency review. Each of these plans was found by the planner and the planning board to be consistent with the city's existing master plan. At this point, the city's master plan is due to be re-examined within the next year. The best course of action for the city to take is, as part of that re-examination, focus on this use, have the experts who are working to re-examine and amend the existing master plan, have them review this use and determine whether or not it's compatible with the city's long-term planning goals and objectives. If the master plan if all of the information submitted in connection with the master plan reexamination finds that this kind of use doesn't fit with the city's goals and objectives, the council at that point would be in a strong position to consider amendments to these 3 redevelopment plans. Right now, if there was to be an amendment, there'd be potential legal consequences from the property owners who own property within each of these plan areas. So without that substantial evidence in the record, the council could be subjecting the city to some legal scrutiny if these plans are amended without substantial evidence. It is really important to note that the council really controls how this can work, and these types of uses can be implemented at this point. Because of the requirements of the redevelopment law, anything to be constructed, whether it's a data center use or any other use within any of these plan areas, would require a redevelopment agreement. So that's one of the tools at the council's disposal going forward to regulate that use until the master plan can be reconsidered. And then as a result of that, these ordinances can be looked at again and determine whether or not amendments to remove that use or further regulate that use should be implemented.
Okay. You're all set?
Could I just ask you a couple
Sure.
questions? For the sake of putting it in plain English, there's no data centers today?
Correct.
For a data center to be built in town, this council or a new council would have to approve it?
That's correct.
This council has passed a resolution saying we wouldn't do so?
That's correct.
A new council would have to reaffirm or pass their own resolution saying that they also believe it would be wrong and wouldn't do so?
If that was that council's
That's their
intention. Yeah.
idea? So,
The alternative, the master plan could be amended in 27 when it comes up for.
Yes. The master plan was most recently reexamined in 2017, so it's due to be reexamined in 2027. In connection with those reexamination studies, I would highly suggest that data centers be specifically looked at so that a substantial record can be established. And if the council intends to act on that, they'd be acting on that substantial record, not going back on prior findings by expert planners and the planning board, finding that this use is consistent with the 2017 master plan.
thank you.
And in doing this research is when we found that there were 2 additional properties dating back to 2018, 2000.
I had December, based on what I was able to find, December of 2022 and April of 2022 were the 2 prior redevelopment plans that permit this use, and you're all aware of the recent one in December of this year, December of 2025, yes.
Okay. Just stay close in case,
Yeah, I'll
We need
sit
you.
down. Yeah.
okay.
And I know there were a lot of people here to speak on this issue, and many came last month when we made our resolution. We are convinced, for many of us, this is we're coming to the end of our time up here. So it's now time to convince the new guys. I don't know if you want to do that tonight or come back in July, but our resolution, I stand by it. Anything happens in the next 30 days, I'm going to say no.
Okay, Darlene?
Okay, I'd like to speak on the data center as well. I understand that it takes thousands of gallons of water daily to run this data center. It's going to pollute the water, pollute the air. We have that horrible thing on First Street, the metal polluting the air. The trees you can see down there are not doing well from all that pollution. We don't need that in our lungs. We have enough we're dealing with. We do not need a data center. That's one thing. And the other thing I'm going to talk about is the geese. Gary, you made a promise that we would not gas the geese any longer. And I'm asking you to please,
I keep my promise. We
Oh.
have not paid for any gas and of any?
We have, and I have the Animal Protection League with me. There's other things we can do. We're willing to pay for a pilot program to show you how to deter them. We'll do whatever it takes. Please, just stop gassing them. They're human, they're alive, they have feelings, you know, they suffer. All right, and then the other thing I want to ask you is, what happened to the $275,000 that this builder gave for the city to build an animal shelter? I just want to know, where is that money?
So this is not a question and answer period, so if you want, we can explain to you, but it's actually $750,000.
Oh, 750, I'm sorry,
Yes.
you're right, 750. Is
So
it
I
still
just
around?
we're not going to keep answering questions because we have a lot of people that we want to get to speak.
Okay, but I would like to know where it is.
If you
We
want
need
to
an
wait
animal shelter.
afterwards, we can
We need
explain.
TNR, we need an animal shelter. Okay, thank you. Oh, I have 4 more minutes left?
4 minutes and 33 seconds.
Oh.
You told me more than you told him.
I did, right? What did I, oh, my God. Well, anyway, I'm just hoping that with this animal shelter, that it happens, you know, and I don't know. I mean, the money is there, and I'm sure it's making interest as well.
Ms.
There has to-
Kavanaugh can explain to you.
Oh, okay.
I just want to clarify that that money does not exist yet for us. Am I correct,
Oh.
Ms. Russo? Yes. So the development project that was promised by has not come to fruition yet, so we don't actually have any money.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with the health department and the animal control program. That is something that the council will have to facilitate. So I just want to clarify that, because I see a lot of Facebook posts that are not true. So anybody can come and see me at any time. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. We do not have that money.
Oh, thank you for explaining.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, that's it.
Doreen?
Doreen Fraga, Animal Protection League of New Jersey. First, I'd like to thank you, Gary, and the council for passing the resolution last year not to allocate any money to the USDA to come in and kill the geese. Unfortunately, 43 geese were still killed last year. And it happens during the molt period when the geese can't fly. And it's a horrific death, as Darlene has said. And we wanted to work with Tom Cotter and his staff to implement a pilot program of habitat modification. We had met with him, I think it was in 2023. We did have our ecological landscape designer with us, and nothing had happened. So nothing's basically changed in Bayonne. The geese are still being killed. All it would take is a phone call or an email to Aaron, the state director of the USDA, and tell him that you do not want the lethal component of the USDA contract, the corporate service agreement. That's all it would take. And he actually needs permission to come onto the property, which you could deny permission if that's the route you want to go, with more humane, non-lethal methods to control the geese. So we hope that you will cancel the USDA contract, use our program, work with us to implement a more humane solution to deterring the geese, because killing hasn't worked and it's not going to solve your problem. It's going to create a vacuum, and more geese are going to continue to come into the area, and that's not the answer. We want the geese out of here. We want to do it humanely. We want them back up in the flyway so that they're not subjected to this punishment. Thank you.
Valerie?
Thank you. Yes, Valerie Devine, Animal Protection League, Lake Hiawatha. There are a few solutions regarding the geese. One would be habitat modification is the #1 solution for permanently deterring the geese. Overseeding with flight turf, it's a grass which the geese do not like. It has little burbs on it, and it will bother their mouth, and when they go to eat it, it upsets their stomachs. Perimeter fencing around lakes and ponds to remove the line of sight to the water. planting sunflowers and other native plants. Fencing should be installed 3 to 5 feet tall in February to March to deter the geese from nestling. Nests should be destroyed in February, making sure the nests are empty. Hawk kite is very effective, attaching a tail to the tail of the hawk with streamers and mylar strips, very effective. Laser trained border collie dogs, horns, and number 7, which is a very good one, no feeding ban should be implemented. Thank you very much for your time. I hope you'll take us up on our offer. Thank you.
I'm sorry, can I have like a minute back on my time? I forgot to leave this. It has all of our information and about habitat modification.
Okay. Joseph Paparo.
Good evening, council members. Joseph Paparo from the law firm of Porzio, Bromberg, and Newman. I and my client were both here this evening regarding Ordinance 04 for the creation of the Special Improvement District for the peninsula. We are here tonight to express our concerns for inclusion of the Center Point property in the Special Improvement District. The Center Point property is an industrial property at the foot of the peninsula. And reading the ordinance, it's our opinion that being included in the Special Improvement District will not only not provide Center Point with any benefits, it will actually have a detrimental impact on their ability to stay competitive, to draw tenants into the city of Bayonne. I'm going to yield the remainder of my time to Mr. Nenner from Center Point to explain why the company is so concerned about the property being included.
Can you make those comments when we do 04?
Sure. I didn't know procedurally if now was the time or should we wait for the ordinance to be introduced.
Yeah, if you could wait till 04 comes in, we'd love to hear from you.
Will do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Patricia Hillard.
Okay, I'm Patricia Hilliard, chairperson of the Hudson County Group of the New Jersey chapter of Sierra Club. Tonight, we learned that there are 3 potential data centers for Bayonne that you passed in 22 and other times in December. It's really sad because what we would like to see is transparency, where people are allowed to know what's going on and community involvement in decision-making. So this is really disappointing. So now we don't have just one data center to fight, we got 3 possible data centers. One of them, it sounds like if it's Exxon property, it's Prologis, which is one of the biggest warehouse companies in the world. And they have the potential to put a data center in there, and that's that Exxon property, so it's going to be huge if they do it. So what we ask for is transparency and participation of the community, and otherwise we're going to have to keep on fighting because these data centers run up electricity bills, water bills, pollution, diesel generators polluting the air, used as an emergency backup. We've just got to put an end to this thing. Plus, the data centers are not just used for good purposes, like, say, medical record research or things like that. It's also used for crypto money. And that's dark money that can control our society, buy off politicians and city councils and state reps. So we need to fight these data centers and make them answer to the community. Thank you very much.
Caitlin Paglion.
Hi, my name is Caitlin Tynan Pongalinen, and I live at 104 West 52nd Street. I'd like to start by saying that it really seemed like the council heard us last month. You listened to the concerns, you heard the outrage, and I know you definitely felt the frustrations that we had that you'd sell out your own communities without even asking a few questions or doing a little research first. But even if some of you listened better than others, I do think that you took the steps to make us feel heard. You can continue to raise your hands in victory, but now that the campaigns are over, I think that people will know that they've been had, that they've been paid lip service, because what really happened is that you listened to us, but you actually didn't do anything. You can tell us that the council will never allow a data center, but most of you, I don't know if you're going to be here, and you definitely can't guarantee what the next council is going to do. But it was you who wrote it into the code and who paved the way for a data center. Because writing it into the code in the very first place makes it to be so. And even if you could guarantee that the next council would stop it, the only real way is to deny a project once it's been submitted. And that leaves the city vulnerable to a huge lawsuit. Because again, you've already allowed it. I'm not an expert, but I'd guess a lawsuit now to amend the code back would be less than if you denied a permit that was submitted by a company who was funded by endless data center money. If the major concern is the lawsuit, we could probably afford to amend the code now if you just fix the credit card machines on the parking meters. But honestly, if it is about the money, what does that say? No amount of money is worth our health, our well-being, or the future of our children. Unfortunately, it's not too late. You still have the chance to do the right thing. You are still sitting in the seats. You can fix the mistake you made by amending the redevelopment plan now, today. You can say you're opposed to data centers all you want, but until you amend the redevelopment plan and remove data centers from its permitted uses, you're still allowing them. Do the right thing while you still can. Do the right thing, protect your legacy, and do the right thing for your families, friends, and neighbors. Thank you.
Joseph.
Good evening, City Council, members of the public. My name is Joseph Pangalina on 104 West 52nd Street. I am here to speak again today to make the call for City Council to initiate a redevelopment plan amendment for the Old Hook Road redevelopment plan, as well as all other redevelopment plans that state that list data centers as a permissible use. I think, as you know from this past meeting, and as you'll find out from more and more comments today, that data centers as a use has a deleterious and vastly negative impact on the citizens, on the residents of Bayonne, not only in terms of water, air, noise pollution, as well as significant impacts on the utility costs of the residents nearby. The main way to do this is through a redevelopment plan amendment. City Council, as you may know, is one of the few bodies that can initiate this endeavor. You can instruct the planning board to look into a redevelopment plan amendment for Old Hook Road, as well as all other redevelopment plans, and strike data centers as a permissible use. It has been made clear that it's very easily supportable, that it is a use, has major impact on public health and safety. And to be honest, in reviewing the process of how it got legalized in the first place, it appears to be very underhanded. The planning board meetings had discussions 5 minutes long, and apparently the staff report for supporting the approval of it is like 1 page long. I can't understand what could possibly be in that 1 page to sway all of you to support the approval of this use for these, and these redevelopment plans. It's not too late to show a little transparency and initiate this process, have the public be a part of it, and do the right thing. Please, it's not too late, do the right thing, be transparent with the people of Bayonne, amend the redevelopment plan. Thank you.
Jill Pastorino?
Okay, Jill Pastorino, 74 West 46th Street. I have 2 issues. One is obviously the data center, but I want to address what he said, that this is in compliance with the master plan. This is some of the language from the master plan about sustainable design principles, which we're supposed to be following. 4 out of 5 of them, data center would be disastrous. A, protect landscape and water resources. We know it consumes immense amount of water. B, minimize non-renewable energy consumption. Obviously doesn't do that. Balance long-term economic, social, and environmental needs. It may bring some money to the city, but the residents always, always, always bear the brunt of social and environmental needs. And finally, enhance the quality of life. It's detrimental to almost every aspect of the quality of life. So when you look at the master plan, they have a lot of language like this, and apparently it's meaningless when it comes to redevelopment plans. So going forward, when they redo the master plan, whether you're in the council or not, you're residents here, and the rewriting of the master plan needs to be tighter, so these things are not just suggestions. And secondly, on issues 09, it's in the context of this transparency. Tonight, there's going to be a vote on the redevelopment plan for the St. Vincent School. The redevelopment plan has not been posted. The residents have not seen it, but we're going to vote on it anyway. At this point in the Resnick's redevelopment, we at least had the draft redevelopment plan so that if I came up to speak about it, I would have something to say. We have no idea what's going to go up there. Next month is the final vote on this redevelopment plan. This system, like the system with the data center, doesn't allow for meaningful public input. The council doesn't advocate for community concerns because you don't know them. You don't know them because there is only a few opportunities and no information is posted for the community to review. A lot of times these plans are posted in a very short time frame. They're 150 pages long, and then there's the vote. So similarly, going forward, there needs to be better transparency, but this is like, it's kind of like a rigged system with very little opportunity for community input. Thank you.
Diane Steen? This is Diana.
Oh, Diana.
Sorry. We can't really hear you.
Yeah.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Diane Stein, and I've lived in Bayonne for about a year. And because of that, forgive me, I'm beginning to learn the process and the mechanics of how things work here. And I want to thank the sister who spoke before me, because I think I'm going to echo a lot of what you said. I came here when I retired last year after working for close to 40 years in the field of workplace safety and health. When I think about how municipalities should respond to the challenge of the placement of AI centers, as well as other development, I draw on that experience. As we're all well aware, locating AI centers, AI data centers in densely populated communities brings a series of challenges that would take a lot to overcome, if that's even possible. It's a mistake to wait until there's a time-driven, specific proposal to which the planning committee, the city council, and most importantly, the residents of Bayonne have to respond. Process is the problem. I mean, that's what I've heard in the past month or so that I started following this. And I think that that's, in addition to the science of the safety and health part of it, the process is what this body and the citizens in Bayonne really need to look at. Planning ahead of time for what we as a community find acceptable, and then measuring any proposal against those principles, which the sister just did, and apparently it's found wanting, will go a long way to ensuring that we make careful, considered, and intelligent decisions regarding these centers. Additionally, a set of principles for the impacts of development can be applied to a variety of proposals, not just AI data centers, which is what's up front and personal for us now. A few of the hazards that have been documented with the data centers include noise pollution from the constant hum and the intermittent generation of noise in excess of 90 decibels, light pollution that can disturb migration habits and habitat development among wildlife, air pollution from power generation, which can increase respiratory and cardiovascular disease as well as to increase cancer risk, and the water issue. There was an article that I read in today's paper that Corpus Christi, Texas is running out of water. And it's something that you should look at because it's something that an industrial community like Bayonne is, I'm afraid, could all too easily run up against. Another consideration is whether Bayonne is equipped to handle additional emergency situations that may arise. A fire at a data center is not a house fire. While there is already other industry in Bayonne, and I don't know enough about our fire department to know if they have adequate staffing and equipment in the event of an emergency. It's something that needs to be looked at. Any development permitted in Bayonne must benefit the residents of Bayonne. Though I have not taken the time here to address the potential adverse economic increase of utility bills, those should obviously also be factored into decision making. Taking the time on the front end to decide how much, if any, of these risks are worth it will enable Bayonne to do some good decision making. There are a lot of resources out there already from work that's been done in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and around the country that could help guide I was pleased to hear about the master plan, but guide the new master plan. But the more I hear, the more I realize, or the more it occurs to me that the problem is process. The problem is that we don't have participatory democracy, and that's what we need in order to make sure that everything is reviewed by all of us who will be affected by it. In the interest of transparency, I cannot imagine a set of circumstances in which I personally would support an AI center in a community like Bayonne, but all of us should, this is my training, all of us should be driven by the data that we uncover. Reviewing the data takes time and expertise and should not be done on the fly when a proposal comes our way. My suggestion on the creation of the new master plan is that we really have participatory democracy. You have focus groups. There's a lot of talent in Bayonne who could help with the technical issues. You have focus groups of community concerns as well as the expertise among our neighbors. You can have, the master planning group should have community representatives on it. And so I would urge you to look as much at process when the master plan is being redone as the specific technical issues. Thank you.
Ms. Ava Lee.
Good evening, council members. First, I just want to start by saying a thank you to all of you that are in public service. I'm someone who's been in public service before. I know what it means to show up each and every single night and listen to people. Sometimes people who agree with you, sometimes people who disagree. And I know it's a tough job. And I also want to say a big thank you to the new people who've been elected. I saw some of the new city council people and the new mayor who's here. I'm really here, though, to talk about these data centers. And the reason I want to talk about it is that I do not think Bayonne can become a sacrificial lamb for Silicon Valley's next gold rush. Okay? When you talk about data centers and when you talk about what happens in politics, there's a very simple saying: follow the money. There are billionaires that are trying to buy our politicians, trying to buy our politics. Now, who here knows OpenAI? Show of hands, who here knows the company OpenAI? Okay, OpenAI, the founders of ChatGPT, have created a brand new super PAC where they put $150 million. $150 million for one goal. Any politician who speaks up for AI safety, for regulation, they want to silence their voices. They have already decided in Hudson County to get involved in the congressional race right here. You can watch it on the news. There are pro-AI forces that are saying anyone who speaks up for regulation, they're going to crush them. Now, we're lucky, I don't think they got involved in the municipal race here in Bayonne, but they're getting involved in state after state. People who are standing up, communities that have made their voices heard very clearly. They don't want data centers. But the AI tech oligarchs, the billionaires, they don't care. And so it is incumbent upon this council to do whatever you can right now. Because if you follow the money and you look at what is happening across this country, politicians are being bought and paid for by these big tech companies. They don't care about the people in Bayonne. They don't want clean air. They don't want clean water. They're going to fight each and every single day for their profits. And we are in the middle of a war. It is a war between the people and the people making profits. It is a fight between working families and the big tech companies. And the question is, which side are you on? That is the question everyone here is asking. And so I urge all of you, in the last few days that you're in office, to do whatever you can to make it explicitly clear that whoever is in office, they are not going to be able to use the people of Bayonne, the working families here, to just continue to benefit the billionaires that are sitting in Silicon Valley that probably could not point to Bayonne on a map, right? These companies don't care. We need to do whatever we can to protect our communities here. Thank you.
Omar Geary.
Good evening, council members and fellow Bayonne residents. My name is Omar Algarhi. I'm a Ward 2 resident, a small business owner on Broadway, and a product of Bayonne Public Schools. I'm here tonight because Bayonne residents deserve a clearer and more honest conversation about the proposed data center tied to the new Hook Road. I understand that the council is not voting tonight to approve a data center, but this project is already in motion, and that is exactly why the public deserves answers now before it moves any further. City Hall already adopted an amendment to the redevelopment plan for 6971 New Hook Road in December 2025. In the planning board meeting many residents were looking forward to for answers was canceled and moved to May 5th, which was canceled again without a new date. That makes tonight one of the few opportunities people have to raise concerns in public right now. The concerns residents are raising are reasonable. Data centers bring serious issues about power demand, water use, noise, traffic, and long-term strain on local infrastructure. And before City Hall even thinks about letting a project like this move forward, residents deserve to know whether they want it, whether it fits in our city, or whether the burden will fall on them. This is especially important to me because New Hook Road is in the 2nd Ward. That means my neighbors and other Ward 2 residents will feel the impact of this more directly than anyone else, although all of Bayonne will suffer the consequences. We're already seeing in other New Jersey communities what happens when residents feel they are getting answers too late. In Vineland, residents have raised concerns about a large AI data center because of noise, water use, electricity demand, and emissions. Bayonne should learn from that now, not later. And these concerns are serious enough that lawmakers in Trenton are already advancing regulation focused specifically on the energy demands of AI and crypto data centers. So Bayonne should not treat questions about power use and infrastructure impact like they are overreactions. My ask tonight is simple. Before this project moves any further, residents deserve clear answers about its impact on water, energy, traffic, noise, and overall quality of life. They also deserve enough notice, enough information, and enough time to understand what is being proposed before major decisions move forward. Bayonne residents are not asking for conflict. They're asking for transparency, serious public discussion, and the chance to be heard early. And I think that is a fair request, and I hope this council and the future council will treat it that way. Thank you.
Christina?
Hi, my name is Christina Napolitano, and I don't want the data center, and the reason that I don't want that is because of the noise, air pollution, generators, high energy, water consumption, and for people's health, could cause cancer, heart issues, just numerous different things. And I just feel that if there is something going on, that you should include us. This way, we are allowed to speak about the issue, and if we want it, and if we don't. I've been here for 37 years, and I personally do not want it. I don't think it's something that Bayonne needs. There's other things that you can develop in Bayonne, but I don't think that's one of the things that we need at this point. As I stated, electricity bills will go up, health issues, just, so many different things. So I hope that in the future, it just doesn't come at all. I appreciate you listening to me. Thank you very much.
Natalie Ramos?
Hello, council members. My name is Natalie, and I have lived in Bayonne for all of my life, and I'm extremely concerned by the turn our city is taking. I do want to start off by addressing the fact that New Jersey is in a drought. We are being asked by our government to conserve water, but instead the city wants to approve a data center that will consume over 5 million gallons of water a day. Not a year, a day. Data centers also present unforeseen risk to health. The data center in Vineland has not been completed, and residents are reporting loud ringing noises that are coming from the facility. This is causing headaches, migraines, and other undisclosed health impacts because they have not been properly investigated. We do not know whether the emissions that are released from the data centers have carcinogens and what other risks can cause, because the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services has refused in Senate committees to say whether AI data centers are dangerous to health or whether they are currently investigating this issue. We should not make Bayonne a sacrifice zone and suffer for generations to come due to the unknown health risks that data centers present. Our health system in Bayonne is already overburdened, and the state of hospitals in Hudson County is up in the air. These data centers also do not present any opportunities for job growth, and the rush to build these centers are entirely driven by profit. We do not need a data center in Bayonne, and we need the promise that our city council will do, this city council and the next city council will do whatever they can do to protect the safety of our residents. Thank you.
Jenna Reddick?
Hi, Jenna Reddick, West 55th Street. We are here today, as you know, about the negative effect. We all know about the negative effects of data centers being built all across this country. From our energy bills increasing 20% more than it has in recent years, to toxic pollution that would be pumped into our environment, creating even more sound pollution and even lowering our property values. Negative effects that are so damaging that my 92-year-old grandfather, who isn't tech savvy at all, is well aware of. So I still want to know why this amendment was passed with the excuse of we didn't know there was any negative impact from data centers. Why would this council just blindly pass something that with no research prior to voting? You said Director Skillinger didn't inform you, but isn't it your duty as elected officials to do your own independent research as well? Since there was a resolution passed in April for research to determine if there is any negative impact from data centers, I want to know why there hasn't been any update on it till today, since you said it in the beginning. We were told that an ordinance would be introduced in May and passed by June before you guys leave office, yet there hasn't been any update till today. There is no transparency at all pertaining to this or anything involved in Bayonne, which feels a little bit deliberate. The only thing that has been spoken about pertaining to data centers after the April council meeting is that the data center issue is being used as political ammo in people's political campaigns. This wasn't a topic being brought up in anyone's campaign before I started organizing people to come speak out against it. I don't want my organizing as a concerned constituent to be degraded to just as a political stunt. it was under the assumption that we only came to the last meeting because someone was using it as political ammo, when it started with just one person using their voice. I don't appreciate being berated by public officials for doing my civic duty as a constituent and informing others about something that will harm all of us for years to come. Damage is already being done from the metal scrapyard, which isn't being regulated, even with state and local laws enacted. You told us that we should come to more meetings and be more involved, so now we're here holding you accountable on something that was promised. Thank you.
Christopher McCarthy.
Good evening. My name is Christopher Gerard McCarthy. I was prepared to come up here and speak about all the detriments that would come with the operation of a data center. However, the truth is you've already made up your mind. You voted for the data center, only backing down after public pressure. You have already sold us out. You are already bought and paid for by the developers. The risks of the data center are known and no longer up for debate. The absence of information is no longer a valid excuse. This is simply about greed, your greed, and you are getting richer at the expense of the people of Bayonne. It appears the lack of independent local journalists in our day-to-day have allowed you all plenty of opportunity to represent only yourselves. However, we the people see what you are. However, we the people see what you are doing. We have already done, risking our electrical grid, risking contaminating our water, risking increases in carbon dioxide, risking the residents of Bayonne. Well, we the people have voted both on the data center and your fitness to lead. Thank you.
Liam Acosta.
Good evening, neighbors. My name is Liam Paiva Acosta, and I have been a Bayonne resident in Ward 1 since I was 15 years old, which is half of my life. I'm also a member of the Eco-Socialist Working Group of the North New Jersey Democratic Socialists of America. As a democratic socialist, I believe that corporate greed should never trump the well-being of people or of our environment. Profits should never be placed over people or nature. If a data center is built in Bayonne, our utility bills will rise. Droughts like the one we are currently experiencing in New Jersey will be worsened. The noise will be deafening. The proliferation of AI will be quickened, and all sorts of other evils will be allowed to befall us. Apparently, this is all news to our representatives until recently. I know my comrades will be talking about this at length, but I want to discuss one particular evil that has taken root not only in this town or this state or even this country, but all around the world. If we, the residents of Bayonne, do not demand our representatives pass an ordinance banning data centers in Bayonne as being fundamentally against the master plan, and hold our representatives accountable to the non-binding resolution that they passed, we will be committing a great sin indeed. Political apathy. Apathy. We cannot be surprised that our political representatives may not have our best interest at heart. We cannot rely on going to the polls once every 4 years to place incredible power and responsibility in the hands of others. Also, we can sit back and let someone else handle it all. Bayonne is our town. As residents of this town, we must hold the feet of our civil servants to the fire and demand they not only make good on any individual promises they make, but the grander general promise of acting in good faith to fulfill the will of the people that put them in office. People of Bayonne know that we will never, ever vote our way into a perfect town or perfect world. We must remain politically active. We must organize amongst ourselves. We must demand an increase in transparency. Has anyone here ever gone online on the website to find past agendas? Where are they? Minutes? Where are they? The text of resolutions that are being considered? Why don't we have a digital portal for signing up to speak? Why do meetings of bodies like the Planning Board and the Rent Control Board keep getting canceled? Bayonne is the second most populous municipality in the county, people. We continue to act like a tiny corrupt town instead of a huge city with eyes on us. We the people must never lose our resolve. As a democratic socialist, I hold democracy to the highest esteem. But democracy is more than voting. It's our sacred civil duty to look our elected officials in the eyes and demand they listen to us. That is what we're all here to do today, and this room needs to be packed to the brim every single time, not just today. So here I am making my demand, and that demand is that the City Council pass an ordinance banning the construction of data centers for any reason, whether it be new construction or redevelopment or anything. No data center in Bayonne, period. I also want to ensure that amnesia does not take over the residents of Bayonne, as I have often seen. Every member of the Bayonne City Council or Planning Board who voted in favor of the data center at any point in their career, that needs to be their legacy forever. That needs to be how they are remembered forever in the hearts and minds of their constituents. Thank you and good night.
I don't know whether this is Ben or Den.
Hi. Hi, my name is Ben Jobek. I'm the Executive Director of Climate Revolution Action Network, the largest Gen Z organization in the state of New Jersey. We happen to have defeated 4 data centers in the past month and are working in over a dozen municipalities to pass bans or cancel their data centers. What I'm hearing from your legal team is not making much sense to me, considering I got a text from a council member who's going to pass a resolution to ban data centers tomorrow in Sussex County, and just last night we were doing this same gosh darn thing where we said we couldn't amend a redevelopment plan because we said it once before in Monroe. Guess what? That failed. And the data center is not happening. So you can go and make an ordinance that defines data centers. You may not know what this technology is, but it is in fact 2026, and this is not an emerging economy. It is actually the largest sector of our economy. So it's not that hard for the council to do some research. The people in the audience did. They're not getting paid. So I'm just really confused, right? We are seeing the proliferation of big tech, Wall Street, fintech over into Hudson County. Over 81 data centers have already been built in New Jersey, and hundreds have been built across the PJM region, which raises all of our bills, right? So we're in the legislature fighting for reforms to take on water, energy, and whatnot, but this is what we say. We say at the local level, we have to ban, because that's your authority under home rule. Don't say you don't have it, right? And at the state level, we need to regulate. It's a simple ask. I will provide you the ordinance later tonight. I will email it to you. You won't be the first town to pass it. You will probably be one of a dozen who have already passed it. So you're not going to be any special here. And I'm really excited to be back next meeting when you bring it up for a first reading, because that's what people are asking. It's kind of that simple. We don't have to pontificate about this. You got 100 people in a gosh darn room, and I mean, I drove an hour to be here. So let's get this done. Let's build communities and not data centers. It's simple. Pass the damn ordinance. Thank you.
Leroy Truth.
Hello, everyone. I am Leroy Truth of Leroy Truth Investigations. Please subscribe to me on Facebook and YouTube. And we are now streaming live on YouTube. Hello, Frank Pence. Now, we have about 30 people signed up to speak. We have about 150 people here. And I got to say, I am so proud of this Bayonne community for coming out in mass like this. So I'm curious to do a poll by voice. 2 questions. First, how many of you support data centers in Bayonne? Okay? And with your voice, how many do not want them in Bayonne? The people have spoken. Now, you've heard the term. Make sure it happens. Right, absolutely. And it could happen tonight. You can vote it tonight, an ordinance against the data centers.
He has the ordinance.
And he has it right here. He will provide it to the attorney right now. Now, another topic. Sometimes people will ask, is there a doctor in the house if there is a medical emergency? Well, I ask, is there a fireman in the house? Because I understand, Mr. Booker, you were smoked yesterday at the election, and congratulations to Sharon Ashnadrosky. It's going to be a new day. Now, you, of course, lost the election, Mr. Booker, for a number of reasons. One of those is you took allegedly $1,500 from Hudson County Sheriff's Lieutenant Matt Fedro, who is accused and sustained allegations that he sexually harassed and sexually assaulted a female Hudson County Sheriff's police officer. And you have refused to condemn him. And he is your leader. He is the head of the Democratic Committee. So are you willing to condemn him now that these allegations were sustained by Internal Affairs in Hudson County Sheriff's Office, as well as a third-party agency? Will you condemn him and say he must resign? We can't have men who has found sustained that he has harassed and allegedly sexually assaulted a female police officer. So what do you say, Mr. Booker? Well, this is an important question. You know? Right, no one's using the microphone up there either. All right, so it is. So now I've got a question for you, Mr. LaPalooza. And I'm going to miss you in an unusual way. You won't be here anymore. And did you vote for the amendment supporting the data center? I'm curious. Really? I was told you did. Now, here's a very important question. And Gary, you know who Vincent De Domenico is, and he's the owner of the property that the data center was proposed to be on. And I heard he's coincidentally a client of your landscaping company. Is that true? You could speak. You don't have that much time left. Yeah, just tell the truth, that's all. I see it in your eyes. Yes. Okay, yes, he said yes.
I
Right.
abstained from the vote because he was a client of mine.
Oh.
I did not vote for you. You were wrong.
Well, all right, I'll check the record on that. And then lastly, what I have here, this is critical. Ladies and gentlemen, they don't care about protecting children from sexual assault. They don't care about protecting women from sexual assault. In fact, how many of you, with a show of hands, think if it is true that Lieutenant Matt Fedro did in fact sexually harass and sexually assault that female sheriff's officer, that he should be removed immediately as the head of the Democratic Committee? Raise your hand. Let's look at the audience. Audience, they're good people. Not a single council person will protect them. And you know how many parents have come to me recently and they have said there are numerous sexual predators right now in your Bayonne schools. And I'm trying to protect sexual predators, trying to stop sexual predators from hurting children in Union City, New Jersey. And Mayor Brian Stack had me arrested and falsely charged with a felony. I was indicted 2 weeks ago. I'm going to be arraigned tomorrow on a false felony charge of aggravated assault against a police officer, even though I was live streaming and it didn't happen. And I've got to go to Essex County Court tomorrow at 9 a.m. and plead not guilty. Now, Bayonne, you have a problem in your schools. I'm asking everyone here, join me. Let's protect the children of Bayonne, New Jersey. Let's protect the children of Union City. My email address is leroytruth247@gmail.com. LeeRightTruth247@gmail.com. God bless all these amazing people in Bayonne, and shame on all of you. I'm Lee Right Truth. Thank you.
Caleb Hansen.
The model ordinance has been emailed to the clerk.
There you go.
Yeah. Good.
Thank you, Ben. Council President, members of the council, my name is Caleb, and I am also with the DSA North New Jersey Eco-Socialist Working Group, much like my comrade Liam over here. So I'm here to talk about what might not be in the packet or any of the planning ordinances that have been put forth by the company who is proposing to build this data center. These companies like to promise jobs, tax revenue, but what they will not tell you about is the 5-year wait for proper electrical generator capacity. So what do they have to do? We could look at an example in Memphis, Tennessee, where Grok AI faced this exact same bottleneck that you guys will face if you end up moving forward with this plan. What was Grok AI's solution? They built an illegal makeshift diesel generator parking lot that burns fossil fuels 24/7, poisoning the working class neighborhood in where the data center is located. All so that a billionaire server farm could pretend it had the juice that they promised up front in the contract. That is the playbook. That is what the contingency plan is that they are not showing you or anybody else in this room. And Bayonne deserves to know, is that the backup plan here if this data plan center moves forward? What they are really not showing you is that this isn't about data storage. This is about Project Stargate and the final frontier of primitive accumulation of the billionaire class. These billionaires have run out of physical world to extract from, so that now what they're doing is they're trying to extract human consciousness itself, training AI models on every thought, image, creative output humanity has ever produced, and locking the results behind their proprietary gates. The water, the electricity, the diesel fumes, they are fueling this machine that is designed to commoditize the last commons we have left, our own minds. And so the water projections that they tell you, pure fiction, underestimated by 30 to 50%. When aquifer strains and rates spike, who's going to end up paying?
We are. That's why we're here.
It's the ratepayers. The electric projections, they also lie about that too. Every megawatt server cooling is stolen from actual decarbonization efforts that could be put into regenerative energy like wind and solar. This facility exists in competition with transit, retrofits, resilience, and every other need that this city has. The administration knows that these numbers will not hold up. The developers know these numbers will not hold up. That is why this process is opaque. Because if residents ended up seeing the full cost of this, the grid weights, the diesel contingency, the consciousness extraction, they would simply end up saying no to anything and everything. And the developers can't survive the embarrassment of suffering that defeat. So this is not about economic development. This is a handout to tech and fossil fuel billionaires who know that scarcity is very real and have decided to bankrupt the future by cashing out all of the chips now, by going drill, baby, drill. And they know that if they extract land, water, grid capacity, and human creative capacity, privatizing these returns while socializing the cost onto the people who live here and in all of the communities where these data centers are being proposed to be built. So, here's what we demand. We need to draft an ordinance that permanently bans data centers from being built in Bayonne. Not a moratorium, not a study, a permanent ban. Because the projections, lies, the hidden costs are the only way to protect this city's water grid and the residents from extraction that is dressed up as progress, which is closed the door entirely to the prospect of a data center construction project in the future. So this council has a choice. You can approve the rosy fiction that these developers are telling you that degrades the environmental quality of life in Bayonne for decades to come, or you can be on the right side of history by choosing not to further degrade the environmental quality of life here in Bayonne by passing a permanent ban on data centers tonight. Thank you.
George Waters.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, public servants. I'm not going to talk about how much harm data centers will cause if they start being built here. We all know them, except for maybe Mr. Booker, who doesn't know what the dangers could be. I totally agree with that lady who said that the only service you provide is a lip service. And I agree with that gentleman who said, you already sold us out. Like, there is absolutely no, for me, there is absolutely no doubt about that. Last time in the last meeting, Jacqueline, she was defending that we did not show up in the meeting in December. Well, the reason is, Jacqueline, you know, we already touched that, right? We already came to a solution, but, you know, it's not very professional to push the blame onto someone who had no idea what's going on. And the reason is because we, as people, we have no idea when you take serious decision, life-changing decisions like building a data center, or you just approving some building permits, right? Like to me, I have no interest to come and sit every Wednesday, but I would like to know when a life-changing event is occurring. So I appreciate you taking some steps last time. I would like to see how they're going to get implemented. I'm pretty sure they will not, but you know, time will show. I also would like people to stay vigilant and be on course, because this is not over. This is far from over, because this administration will pass the blame on the new one. The new one will pass the blame on the old one. And, you know, everybody's going to be innocent, and everybody's going to be like happy. Only us, we the people, who, as a matter of fact, the only legitimate government in this country will be picking up the tab on. So as I touched last meeting, I said the city of Bayonne is a corporation, so is the state of New Jersey. The reason it's important, and the reason I keep on going in there, because governments created by people, we the people created the government as maxims of law, who creates that control. So we the people control the governments. Well, it doesn't seem to be the case, because the government didn't like that. So in the 1860s, you went, well, all the governments went to corporations. I hope, Mr. Carroll, you did your homework and you confirmed that City of Bayonne is a corporation. As a matter of fact, I hope you did. No. So government operated through the consent of a governed. So we are governed to them, and the only authority they have is by delegation of authority that they get from us through voting process. And the only authority they have is the delegation of authority. It means they not government, they just a corporation. This is a board of directors having zero power over any of us. And that's important to understand, that's important to know. And the way they operate is they operate under the color of law. And the United States Code, a criminal section, criminal Title 11, it's a criminal code, sections 241, 242 talk about color of law, and talking about, you're still thinking about checking if Bayonne is a corporation or not, or you still?
I don't have to check, I actually did the homework, but I don't want logic
okay,
and reason
okay,
to get in the
that's
way.
fine.
You
No,
have a
there's
good
no
eye.
logic, there's no reason. So, according to Supreme Court decision, Self versus Ray, 61 Win 2nd, 261, the common law is the real law, the supreme law of the land. The codes, rules, regulation, policy, and statutes are not the law. Once again, I would like everyone to pay attention. The common law is the real law. The supreme law of the land, the codes, rules, regulation, policy, statutes, and everything that comes along is not the law. It's not enforceable. Yes, they make it look like enforceable. Unfortunately, those nice gentlemen, they've been lied to, and they've been executing criminal orders, and they go after us, but they have zero authority with that. And you know, you can see it clearly. People of Bayonne, they said no to data center. We give you the order. Your only job as a corporation that claims to be a government, your only job is to execute the will of we the people, we your employees. You are our employees, and the only job you have is to execute the will of people. And we the people here, gathered here today, to convey you the message once again that we don't want your data centers. If there are lawsuits, if there are any consequences, this is your problem. You have to pay for them out of your own pocket. We shouldn't be responsible. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Exactly. And you did that without our consent, without our knowledge, behind closed door, behind our backs. And how are we responsible? That's your responsibility. That's all your. Mr. Sex Offender, please sit tight. I see the clock.
That's not right.
I see the clock. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. So you got the order. You got the order to stop the development. And by the way, they're building it already. You know the poles on Avenue E? You know they're changing the poles. Why do you
Ms. Medina, please call the next speaker.
Thank you.
That's a terrible thing you said. Yeah. Yeah.
Joe Amin.
Good evening. I'll be brief because many before me have already expressed it better than I could. I'm also here to express my opposition to any development of AI data centers in Bayonne. I respectfully urge all of you and any future officials who are here with us today to do everything in your power to ensure that no data centers are created in Bayonne. Thank you for your time.
Melissa Gadesky Rodriguez.
Good evening, Melissa Gadesky Rodriguez, 148 Avenue F. I do want to start off by saying there's an article recently, actually released yesterday. Nearly 50,000 Lake Tahoe residents have to find a new power source after their energy source looks to redirect lines to data centers. I don't know if any of you have seen that article, but it's very discouraging and it's actually quite scary. Tonight we learned something extremely important. Not one, but 3 development plans already allow for this type of project. How did we get here? We're not perfect, and I don't expect anybody to be perfect. But I do expect that everybody does their homework. How are these redevelopment plans approved without a deeper review of the long-term impact on residents' infrastructure, quality of life, and the future of Bayonne? And why are we only now discussing and re-examining these plans after residents raise concerns? This should have never been approved to begin with. If you have the ability to stop this or reevaluate it, then I ask you to do the right thing and put the residents first. Because tonight, this room is filled with people who care deeply about this city, residents who are willing to support the process, participate in discussions, and help shape responsible development that actually aligns with the needs of our community. The people of Bayonne do not want to be an afterthought while developers sit at the center of every decision. We need leadership that we will get that includes the community before decisions are made, not after. The incoming administration has already made commitment to stand against the data center here in Bayonne because they believe residents deserve a seat at the table. They believe in transparency, and development should improve quality of life for people who already live here, not just benefit outside interests. And this raises bigger questions. When was the last time the master plan was fully reviewed with the community in mind? And how many projects currently approved under redevelopment plans no longer align with the residents actually want for Bayonne? Are we evaluating traffic, infrastructure, public safety, schools, utilities, environmental impact, and the quality of life before approving these projects? A master plan should not just exist on paper. It should serve as a roadmap that protects the future of our city and reflects the voices of the people who live here every single day. Bayonne deserves smart planning, thoughtful planning, and transparent planning. And most importantly, planning that puts residents before developers. We're asking for accountability and transparency, and I know we're going to get that with the future of the Bayonne and the administration. I thank you for your time, and please listen to the residents in this room. They're ready to help. Every single one of them are ready to help and do the homework. He's already done it. So thank you for all showing up and doing this tonight. Have a great evening.
Jason Gass. Yeah.
I just want to commend all of you guys for showing up tonight to do your duty. It was a pretty bad race. There were some things said about people going for civil or elected positions. They put themselves up for criticism. It's expected. You're putting yourself in the public light. You're there. It's expected to be criticized. What I didn't kind of like was when residents voiced concerns on social media, they were attacked as if they were up for election. Now, I get it, social media, things can get twisted, there's misinformation, but certain things were said about certain people. I'm not going to repeat them. It was uncalled for. Booker, I'm sorry, but you didn't do your homework. You voted for at the zoning board, and then 4 months later, you said you were naive about what you voted for. And for me, that was a deal breaker, because I know you're a good guy. I know you meant well for the city, and I know you would have did everything, but for me, I couldn't trust somebody to be in charge of the city that didn't do their homework first. And that's just my personal opinion. Carol, you're a doctor now. I expected more out of you. You voted to approve the data center at the council with Weimer and Perez. You needed 3 votes for it to pass, and it passed. Booker, you conveniently got up out of your seat and you went into the back. It's all on video. Gary, you abstained. That is true. But in my mind, you let us down because you took the side of one person over thousands of constituents in your ward that would have wanted you to vote no to this. And it would not have mattered if you did, because there still were 3 votes that made it pass. So I'm a little shocked at Perez. I don't know why you voted yes to approve it. Weimer as well, I don't know why you would have voted yes to approve a data center. Now, maybe this was because there were the 2 other projects that were approved that a lot of us just found out about tonight in 2022. Now, I don't know if that was like when you guys were on council or when somebody else was on council, but it probably was when you guys were on council, so you voted for data centers 2 other times. And we just found out about the 3rd one. So yes, there is some public scrutiny about transparency. It's valid. It's not something we're making up. People are admitting that they didn't know about these things. And maybe something does need to be done about the way the government here handles how to alert people about life-changing ordinances that are about to get passed. Not little, can I build a shed in my backyard, or can I convert my 2-family into a 3-family? For things that will affect all Bayonne residents, I think, not that it has to go to referendum, where people in the city actually have to vote on it and we supersede, kind of like what you say, but at least maybe 2 initial readings before the adoption, like 1 extra step when something of magnitude gets presented. And I don't know if that's legal or if it's not legal. One other thing I'd like to say is the gentleman that spoke tonight, he knows what he's talking about. I saw the Andover meeting at Zoom and how they handled, and they did issue an ordinance to repeal the existing ordinance. And it is moving through their channels at a fast rate, and they're planning to adopt it in 2 weeks. So they did take action, which what we all expected today, Gary. Honestly, we thought there was going to be an ordinance introduced today to ban data centers, and then your parting gift to all of us was that the next month, your last month, you were going to adopt the ordinance to ban data centers. And we didn't get there. So we feel like you let us down again. And I'm sorry, that's the way you guys, some of you may be going out with the legacy. Some of you are going to be remembered just by this poor decision. And it might not be fair. A lot of you are very nice people. But we all have to reap what we sow. And I'm not responsible for your decisions. You are. And that's all I got to say. Thanks.
the agenda. 01 is a resolution postponing an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, adopting a redevelopment plan for the property located at 301 and 300-302 Constitution Avenue, which is identified as Block 803, Lot 1, and Block 815, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map of the city pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law. It is being postponed to the meeting of June 17th. It's moved by Councilmember Carroll. Mr. Booker, will you second? On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
02 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, State of New Jersey, addressing the requirements for the Fair Housing Act and the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held March 18th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of April 18th, is now before, and was postponed to this meeting of May 13th, and is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. La Palusa, you would second.
Second.
On second reading ordinance, a resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, State of New Jersey, addressing the requirements of the Fair Housing Act and the Uniform Housing Affordability Controls. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Move.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
So move.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
03 is a bond ordinance providing for Phase 2 of the lead service line replacement project in and by the City of Bayonne in the County of Hudson, New Jersey, appropriating $25 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $25 million bonds or notes of the city to finance the cost thereof. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held April 15th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of May 13th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution giving the ordinance second reading is moved by the council president. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, a bond ordinance providing for the Phase 2 of the lead service line replacement project in and by the City of Bayonne in the County of Hudson, New Jersey, appropriating $25 million therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $25 million bonds or notes of the city to finance the cost thereof. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak. No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Second.
On the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
So move.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
04 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne in the County of Hudson, New Jersey, creating a special improvement district for the peninsula at Bayonne Harbor. It was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held April 15th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of May 13th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Carroll, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Yeah. Mr. Skillender, we have a question for you, and then we'll have you come up as well.
Well,
So these gentlemen spoke before about Center Point, and
Yes.
they wanted to know why they were included in the SID.
So again, when we looked at the properties that the SID would be, that the creation for this SID, it is an expansion slightly into the industrial zones to connect to the turnpike on that. So there are some warehouses along that are included. In looking at it now that we have the UPS facility in there, one of the intents of the SID is to also help with some of the road improvement infrastructure projects that have to go on, so like road pavements and stuff, given the high volume of truck traffic from the warehouse facilities and UPS. So that's one of the reasons as to why the inclusion of them in this special improvement district.
Okay, you want to just wait there? Do you want to come up and speak and explain why you don't want to be?
Council President?
Oh, yes.
Can I get a vote on the second reading so
Okay.
that we can go through that?
So
on the
all
second
right, so
reading, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne in the County of Hudson, New Jersey, creating a special improvement district for the peninsula at Bayonne Harbor. And the council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Please state your name again, please.
Sure. Thank you, Council President. Council members, Joe Papero from Porzio, Bromberg, and Newman on behalf of Center Point Properties. I'll be very brief, and I want to just yield my time to Mr. Nenner from Center Point just to express his concerns about including this property in the Special Improvement District for the peninsula. Again, we are here to respectfully request that Center Point be removed from the SID, and Mr. Nenner will go into more detail as to why we feel that that would be the most appropriate. We appreciate the explanation that was given. We do appreciate that explanation. However, I'd like Mr. Nenner to just explain what this SID would mean and the detrimental impacts that he feels that it would have on the company to be competitive in this very competitive market here in Bayonne. Mr. Nenner?
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. As stated, my name is David Nenner. I work for Centerpoint Properties. We own an asset, 3100 Pulaski, that has been vacant for over 2.5 years. It's a highly competitive market, and we're right across the street from Jersey City, and we're competing with Jersey City properties. Our taxes for our building that get passed directly through to the tenants are $1.70 more expensive than the buildings directly across the street. It puts us at a competitive disadvantage to the market. Our building has been vacant for 2.5 years. Our taxes are already too high. This additional cost that'll get passed through directly to the tenants will make us further less competitive. And as such, we respectfully request that we be removed from this district because we're simply unable to be competitive in this market right now, and would ask that you give this consideration and appreciate it very much. Joe?
Thank you very much, and I appreciate,
Just a question for you.
Sure.
You were given proper notice? You were given documentation requesting the SID, or?
No.
Go ahead.
We got the notification at the end of last week. It's the first anybody heard of it.
Okay.
First time. And first thing I did was call Joe, and here we are.
Well, I think we should table this and
Do we
look
have the
into,
ability, does a property have the ability to either be excluded or request, or be included? Is it an area that is dedicated or designated by the city, or do property owners have that?
also, do you have proof that everybody's been given notice?
Yes, we have. That was the issue the last time that this ordinance came in front of the council. We could not find that there was proof of mailing. Mr. Opel can come up here and explain, their offices handled the mailing, to the private individuals in the property owners in the proposed special improvement district. As for the appeal period, there is a process in the ordinance that a property owner can appeal and object, which Mr. Opel can also explain too.
So ordinances for a special improvement district, they require notice to property owners at least 10 days in advance of this hearing. So those notices are sent out to all the properties that are to be included within the special improvement district, and I believe that's the notice that.
Is that by certified mail? Or?
Yes, certified and regular mail. So those all went out. We have the proofs that they were all sent in those, through those methods. So Section 3 of the ordinance provides an appeal process for every property owner within the proposed special improvement district, and it states that and the owner of any property can make an appeal to the tax assessor of the city of Bayonne requesting to be excluded from the district and any assessment or taxing provisions that are provided by this ordinance. So if the council were to adopt this ordinance, any property owner who was subject to the assessment this one is, they would be able to make that application to the tax assessor.
And so their inclusion would be based on the tax assessor's findings.
Correct. They'd have opportunity for notice and a hearing before the tax assessor, and then the tax assessor would make a recommendation to the council as to whether or not they believe that the property should remain in the district or be excluded. So it would ultimately come back to the council for review.
And that's their only matter of appeal. So the SID covers a specific area designated by the tax collector. Anyone within that designated area that wishes to appeal that designation / classification would have to follow that appeal process.
Yeah, through the tax assessor. And this district was created, as Director Skillender said, looking at all of the properties within that area that could potentially benefit from these additional improvements. The SID assessment, those funds they're not general taxes. They're assessments that are to benefit all of the property owners within that district. And while I recognize that some may not feel that they would benefit, as was stated, there are a lot of projects that may have or would likely have general applicability to everyone within the district.
And so Center Point would have the opportunity to do an appeal by contacting the tax assessor tomorrow.
Correct. It's Section 3D lays out the entire process for doing that, and the tax assessor would review any materials that the appealing property owner submitted and then make the recommendation to the council, and the council can take action as to, based on the recommendation or your own thoughts about whether they should be included.
So then the ordinance would have to be amended if the tax assessor, in response to the appeal, if there was a successful appeal, they'd have to amend the ordinance to remove the property? Is that the process?
Correct.
Okay. Just one more brief from Mr. Nenner.
One more final comment. We're not alone in this. There are a lot of empty buildings on Hook Road. A lot of empty buildings, and the reason they're all vacant is because Bayonne is not a competitive location. Leasing across the rest of the state has gone through the roof in the last quarter. But the one submarket in New Jersey that is the worst submarket in New Jersey, I hate to say it, is Bayonne. There are more vacant buildings in that little sub-pocket than any other. And while I appreciate the need for upgraded roads, that's not what's going to bring in tenants. Being competitive and having a competitive financial reason to be in Bayonne is what's going to bring in tenants. And I would urge the folks on the council to take a look at the vacancy on Bayonne. Brand new buildings, and old buildings too, but brand new buildings have been sitting there. The building right down the street from UPS, built by Lincoln Equities, has been sitting there for 3, maybe 3.5 years. They can't convince a tenant to come here. And so I hope it all sinks in, and would continue to respectfully request that this be considered. Thank you for your time tonight.
And I'm not trying to be rude by saying this, but usually the builder should be aware of whether they can rent or sell a property.
That's true, but taxes are out of our control, and special interest groups for this type of thing are out of our control. And when Jersey City, directly across the street, has taxes that are $1.70 less than Bayonne, something's out of whack, and we're just not competitive. That's the reality of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
What do you think?
Mr. Rustigno.
Mike, you have
Michael-
something on 04, or?
Yeah, on
Okay.
04.
Yes.
I'm just curious, the peninsula at Bayonne Harbor, and then he mentioned Hook Road. I'm not, on the area we're talking about, is it the UPS and Pulaski Road warehouse section, or it's, and, yeah, but it's not the Hook Road section where the Delta Storage in that area is, right? I'm just curious of the.
No, the properties on this one, this is really affecting the Moppy Peninsula, and then, where Lincoln Equities built, where Costco is.
Right,
where-
yes, yeah.
So, and then the Turnpike warehouses, along with the South Cove Commons Shopping Center and the New Jersey Transit site.
Oh, okay.
So-
Yeah, because I know, I go around that area and stuff like that, and they've done a lot of good work as far as the trees and stuff like that and building the area up.
Yes.
And the road work has been terrific.
Yeah.
But I thought creating a special improvement district is good for the public.
Well, but part of it is, again.
I mean, it's, to me, what I'm saying is like, and to me, if a warehouse is empty, you need a lower rent.
Well, the thought on the special improvement district, so I'm not going to get into the market.
Before you
but-
build it, you do the research to see what's around
Right,
you.
yeah.
Right.
On it is, again, the special improvement district, this was something that the prior council, has passed. When we looked into it to activate it, found that there was procedural deficiencies in it, and we're back now correcting that. But again, they're there for other towns like Jersey City, the Exchange Place Alliance. They're the ones that host the Jersey City's 4th of July, fireworks display and concert. So again, there's a lot of flexibility for programming activity, public, improvements, garbage removal. So it gives basically any of the tax dollars, that are affected by that property. They have properties collectively, the ability to keep the tax money in that area.
Yeah, because you've done a great job back there as far as, coming from the UPS and then turn to go back that area, excuse me, and then come out again next to the Jersey City borderline. They've done a great job with the road work back there and everything, bringing the trucks out that way. So anyway, it's, thank you.
Sure,
As long as I know the area you were talking about, yeah.
Sure.
Anyone else on 04?
Yeah, I think we should pull this and do a little more information on this, and find out a little bit more about the process of appeal as well, so.
we have a
Everybody in favor of that? You want to take a
Resolution.
vote then for that, or to table this?
Okay, you have a resolution to postpone to the meeting of June 17th. It's moved by Council President. Who'd like the second?
Second.
And on the resolution to postpone, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
05 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances, Chapter 7 Traffic, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held April 15th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin boards required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of March 16th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Booker, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances, Chapter 7 Traffic. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
Melissa Godesky Rodriguez, 148 Avenue F. Can you explain this? Like, what's it impacting? What does it apply to, the area it applies to? Could you share more, please?
Yes. Yeah, you want to explain it?
Melissa, as much as I know. So this is the location that is currently now St. Michael's property. And because the side street there that is Church Road is more of a road that is used for loading, unloading, things of that nature for the businesses that are on Broadway. They utilize their rear section. So this would be to minimize any traffic and inconvenience on on 23rd Street on the cross street or the following street, so that it mandated move-ins or move-outs or deliveries be made through that side street and not on either of the other two main streets.
So in theory, this would prevent double parking, trucks, we would like to hope so.
In theory.
In theory.
That's the intent. So it just designates a loading area there between the certain times that are designated typical for the city, with the intent of hopefully minimizing that inconvenience for the residents in that area.
So this is specific only to this area, this very specific, or
It's
just a
specific
full
to that
ordinance?
property.
Okay.
It's just specific to that property because it could not be accommodated for inside the building. So we asked the developer if they would accommodate something on the outside.
And I think what we can learn from this is something we should be asking from all developments, because, again, I live on Avenue F, and there's almost a car accident every single day because everybody is double parked because there are no loading zones, there's Amazon, there's FedEx trucks. So like, I like the fact that we're applying the logic here. We need to apply the logic to the future developments in Bayonne to control and address the safety issues that are caused by double parking. So thank you for this, but let's apply the logic, I think, across the board. Thank you.
My favorite redevelopment project. So are we talking between 23rd and 24th, or are we talking between, we are? Okay, so there's meter parking there right now. How many of those how many of those meter parking spaces are we losing?
I apologize. It actually, I believe, would take up, and I think Mr. Maselli, I believe it takes up the area that encompasses what is now the driveway.
The driveway, okay.
The driveway.
You're right.
So
And there
that
is-
it would be that very same sort of indent cut in
Yep.
that would allow for
Yep.
the,
I know it very well. There's plenty of dog poop there. Okay.
Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
Move.
And on the motion to close, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
06 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances, Chapter 7. This is for restricted parking zones, which was introduced and passed the first reading at the meeting held April 15th, was published in the Bergen Record and posted on the bulletin board as required by law, with notice that it would be further considered for final passage following a public hearing at this meeting of March 13th, is now before the council for its consideration and a public hearing. And a resolution moved by the council president, giving the ordinance second reading. Mr. Booker, will you second? And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Second reading is by title, an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances, Chapter 7, Traffic. The council is now ready to give all persons interested in this ordinance an opportunity to be heard concerning it. The council president will recognize anyone who wishes to speak.
I just have a quick question, Madeline, because the ordinance just mentions that we're deleting 3, but it would appear that the
Says
expanded says that we're adding.
You're actually adding.
We're adding
That's a
3.
cut and
Okay, so
paste.
that's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else? No protest against, objections to, or statements in favor of this ordinance or its passage has been filed with me. May I have a motion to close?
So move.
Second.
And on that motion to close, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And a resolution ordering final passage.
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Already done our speakers. 07 is an ordinance for introduction. It is an ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriations limit and to establish a cap bank. And a resolution fixing Wednesday, June 17th, at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. It's moved by the Council President. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the introduction, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
08 is an ordinance amending and supplementing the revised general ordinances, Chapter 24, Water Sewer Services, and a resolution fixing Wednesday, June 17th at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. And the resolution is moved by Councilmember Perez. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
09 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, approving the redevelopment plan 480 West 47th and 79-93 Avenue C, which is identified as Block 76, Lots 17.01 and 1702, as shown on the official tax map, pursuant to the local redevelopment and housing law, and a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez fixing Wednesday, June 17th, as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Mr. Booker, will you second? Second. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer.
Aye.
Mr. La Palusa.
I'm recusing myself. Abstain.
Abstain. Oh, 10 is an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan for the property at 190 West 63rd Street, which is identified as Block 2, Lot 1, as shown on the official tax map, and a resolution fixing Wednesday, June 17th, at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. It's moved by the Council President. Mr. Booker, will you second? Second. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Aye. Mr. Carroll. Aye. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Aye. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Madeline, before we go any further, I did, and please forgive me because I forget who it is that asked the question, but somebody did ask for the redevelopment plan 409, and it's not currently posted, and we were advised that during the introduction phase, it is not posted, but that it would be posted for next month's meeting. Is that correct, Director Skillender?
Yes, like any introduction of the ordinance, the blurb is provided here while there's a copy of the draft of the ordinance there. Now that it's been officially adopted introduced by the council, it will go through the process under the MLUL and local redevelopment law, so it will be heard at the planning board meeting. Given the fact that the council has taken action at this, the council has planning board has 45 days to review for master plan consistency review, and then refer its recommendation back to the council for adoption, which then the redevelopment plan will be posted during this time at with the municipal clerk, and it'll also be a copy within the land use office.
But can residents simply go online and obtain a copy of that redevelopment plan? Is it posted?
As of right now, no. Normally, 10 days prior to the planning board, it becomes posted publicly online under the MLUL for it. And then, again, for the clerk's office, I don't know the process and procedure with that for this.
So if a resident called the clerk's office, Madeline, do they have the ability to simply get a copy of that redevelopment plan?
If I've received it, yes.
If we've received, okay. So does that answer, I don't quite remember who asked the question. Does that help you answer your question?
Well, I called for a copy today. They don't have it. It hasn't been
Fine.
submitted.
So and it wouldn't be just in.
No,
so
there is a draft of the plan, and while the draft of the plan is attached, with the ordinance, because it was not yet adopted by the council or for introduction, the hearing will be, next month.
Okay.
So that people can review and comment.
Okay. And when can she obtain a copy of that?
I will get her email and tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. So if you would like to reach out to Director Skillender or the clerk's office, you can obtain a copy of that.
10 days before the planning board, or
No, I believe we can give you a copy of the draft currently. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
See, I should have had the copy of the draft tonight because you just voted on it, and I could have said something at the public part. But my issue partly is going to upend my neighborhood. It's going to change it for the rest of my life. And Next month's the final vote, and I'm going to be out of town, and there is no way to make a virtual comment under the current process.
You
So-
can make a comment and the clerk can read it into the minutes.
Okay, I called, and they said no. Is that correct? You know, like
No.
You called my
No.
office?
No, I called somebody, this office. I
Well-
asked, I did call your office. I said, is there a way to have the public comment read into it, or do I just have to email each one of the council members? They said, you have to email each one of the council members.
They misinformed you. I would read it in. I have read it in.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
And
Not that anybody
this
wants to hear me read, but-
process really sort of undercuts public input. It's obvious it does. You know, it's intentional, it's obvious. It's left us out, the neighborhood, out of this redevelopment plan that we're going to live with the rest of our lives. So that's kind of my objection, and it applies to every redevelopment plan, including the data center. And this has been happening for years.
Right, I believe that is the process that was put forth to us. It's the process that's been followed, I would assume, for quite a number of years.
Again, at this point in the process of another redevelopment plan, we had the draft plan at this point.
At this point. So I'm not quite sure. I understood that prior to it being adopted, we couldn't provide you with that draft because it wasn't yet in effect. So right now, it's been introduced. We've
But
accepted
shouldn't
it.
the residents be able to see the thing that you just put into effect
Right,
before you do it?
I don't honestly know the legalities behind that, if there are any, or why that is the way it is. Do you?
There is no
Skillen?
public notice, again, on the hearing part of it. That's why on the second part, there's always a resolution fixing the council date and a time for a public hearing and comment that allows at least, it's either 20 days of, for review before ordinance can be adopted, or public hearing after. Don't quote me on the date, but the reason for how we, do the second month is that there's time for, about a month to review then the ordinance and allow for then the comments to be brought to any council meeting. And similar to the special improvement district one, if there's any comments and questions, the council, is free to postpone until further questions, can be resolved.
Right, the citizens are sort of like left out of this process. I mean, the planning board is going to be a week before you vote on it. So it'll go through them, it comes back to you, you got this week to make comments on something that will change the rest of my life on that street. And it seems like the building that's being planned there seems like it's outside of the spirit of the master plan. I'm sure they'll find some legal way to get around what the master plan actually says legally, but, like a high density, I also want to say to the rest of the room, putting a high density, tall building in the middle of a residential block. None of the corridors that you talked about, none of that stuff, middle of a block. So anywhere you live is at risk if this passes. So that's kind of all I wanted to say. Thank you for letting me talk again at this point where we're not supposed to talk.
They're doing it on 25th Street too.
Yeah, so.
I totally agree.
So we're on 011, is amending the redevelopment plan for the peninsula at Bayonne Harbor, Harbor Station North, for the property known as Block 660.01 and Lot 1, and a resolution moved by Councilmember Booker fixing Wednesday, June 17th at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. And it's second, Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On 011, Mr. Booker.
Aye.
Mr. Carroll.
Aye.
Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
012 is an ordinance of the City of Bayonne, County of Hudson, New Jersey, authorizing an amended and restated financial agreement with Century Street Redevelopers LLC for the property known as Block 660.01, Lot 1, And a resolution moved by Councilmember Booker fixing Wednesday, June 17th at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. It's, Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
13 is an ordinance authorizing the encroachment agreement with J. Parr Realty LLC and PKD LLC for the property located at 21-29, 35 and 37 West 25th Street, which is identified as Block 183, lots 5, 6, and 8.01, as shown on the official tax map. And the resolution fixing Wednesday, June 17th, at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. It's moved by Councilmember Perez. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
14 is an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 35 zoning regulations and a resolution fixing Wednesday, June 17th, in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers at a time and place in a public for a public hearing and final passage. Moved by the Council President. Mr. Booker, will you second? On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
15 is also amending Chapter 35 zoning regulations, and it fixes Wednesday, June 17th as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. The resolution is moved by the Council President. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
16 is amending Chapter 7, and it's authorizing 7 on-street parking permits at 33 Prospect Avenue. And a resolution fixing Wednesday, June 17th, at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy E. Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for public hearing and final passage. It's moved by Councilmember Booker. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker.
Yes, we have somebody who wants to speak.
I know it's not a hearing, I know the land, can I make a statement?
I'll allow you. Come up and
Thank you.
ask your question.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to be clear. We're taking 7 on-street parking spaces away and adding it to a development? What are we doing, like,
No, they're
the
just
amendment?
giving them permits to park on the street
Why?
because there was a water pipe that the city put in the wrong location in the 1980s, and it denied them the 7 spots. And it was in the redevelopment plan that the tenants were to be given these parking passes.
And those spots are specifically for them?
No, they're just allowed on-street parking, so it's wherever they park, they'll be allowed a pass. Most new buildings, they have to park inside the building, and they can't get a pass.
It's a little messy. It's going to open up a can of worms, if you ask me. And just thank you for allowing my concern, but it's going to get messy.
I got
Thank
you.
you.
So, Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
17 is amending Chapter 7 Traffic, and the resolution moved by Councilmember Booker, fixing Wednesday, June 17th as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
18 also amends Chapter 7 Traffic, and this is for a loading zone at 21-29, 35, and 37 West 25th Street. And a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, giving the ordinance that fixing Wednesday, June 17th as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Mr. Booker, will you second? On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R19 was removed. R20, 21, and 22 have been withdrawn. I mean, 21, 22, and 20. And 023 is for introductions. It is an ordinance authorizing the purchase and sale agreement by and between the City of Bayonne and Century Street Redevelopers LLC for the property known as Block 660.01, Lot 1, and a resolution fixing Wednesday, June 17th at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy Harrington Council Chambers as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Who would like to move the resolution? Who would like to move the resolution for introduction? On that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Communications is a resolution moved by the council as a whole. It covers, it's ordering the following communications to be received and filed. It covers C1 through C12. On the communications, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Okay. Okay. No problem. And officers' reports is moved by the council as a whole, and it orders the following officers' reports to be received and filed, and resolutions incorporated within them to be adopted. It covers OR 1 through OR 2. Any questions on those? And on the officers' reports, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Consent resolutions is a resolution moved by the council as a whole, ordering the following resolutions to be adopted. It covers CR 1 through CR 16. Any questions on the CR, communications, consent, whatever? And on the consent resolutions, Mr. Booker.
Who's the, for CR 13, who's the agreement with, and
Oh, we have to take that one out. That's for the meters.
the credit card processing services, and we even had that talked about.
That was a space holder. I never got anything else on it. Okay.
So we're taking that out,
Take that out.
withdrawing, okay.
So without CR 13
Okay.
on those resolutions, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R1 is the introduction of the 2026 local municipal budget and a resolution fixing Wednesday, June 10th, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the Dorothy Harrington Council Chamber as a time and place for a public hearing and final passage. Who would like to move the introduction?
Second.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R2 is a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement to be executed by the City of Bayonne and the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank, and further authorizing the execution and delivery of an escrow agreement and continuing disclosure agreement, all pursuant to the state fiscal year 2026 New Jersey Transportation Infrastructure Financing Program. And it's seconded by Mr. Booker. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez.
Aye.
Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R3 is moved by Councilmember Perez, governing the body certification of the compliance with the United States Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. It's the enforcement guidance of the consideration of arrest, conviction records in employment decisions under Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R4 is moved by Councilmember Booker, determining the form and other details of its notes relating to the construction financial loan program of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank to be issued in the aggregate principal amount of up to $25 million, providing for the issuance and sale of such notes to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank, and authorizing the execution and delivery of such notes by the city in favor of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank pursuant to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank Construction Financing Loan Program. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
5 is a resolution moved by Councilmember Perez, adopting the affirmative marketing plan for the Department of Community Affairs Affordable Housing Program. Mr. Booker, will you second? It's 5. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
6 is determining the form and other details of not exceeding $3,300,000 in general obligation bond series 2026A of the City of Bayonne in the County of Hudson, and providing for this sale to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank pursuant to the state fiscal year 2026 New Jersey Infrastructure Bank Transportation Infrastructure Financing Program. Mr. Booker, will you second? And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
7 is moved by the council president. It's redesignating Duke Realty Bayonne Urban Renewal LLC as the redeveloper of the property identified as Block 466.01, Lot 1. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
R7 was withdrawn. It should be R8, is what I just read. I'm sorry.
Sorry, if I may, we don't need to move forward with this. We made this request out of caution, but we no longer need this. If you want to pull that one, save yourselves the time.
On R8?
Yeah, that was a request that we submitted because we thought we were going to include that development as part of our application, but we don't need to do that. Sorry about that.
So,
Thank you.
Well, it's withdrawn.
Withdrawn. Okay. R9 is amending Resolution 2601-21103 to correct the scrivener's error, to correct the entity designated as redeveloper to read 1945 55th Street, Bayonne Urban Renewal LLC. It's moved by Council President La Palusa. Mr. Booker, will you second? On that one, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R10 is also correcting a scrivener's error in Resolution 25-12-17-101 and Ordinance 02627 to correct the project description for the project to be located at 28-34 East 22nd Street, which is identified as Block 212, Lots 30, 31, and 32. It's moved by the Council President. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R11 is amending Resolution 25-02-19078 to correct the scrivener's error in the entity's name to read Nova Group Urban Renewal LLC. It's moved by Councilmember Perez. Mr. Booker, will you second? Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R12 is moved by Councilmember Perez, amending Resolution 25-11-12058 to correct the scrivener's error to read Kennedy Boulevard MW Urban Renewal LLC. Mr. Booker, will you second? On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R13 is amending Resolution 25-02-19079 to correct the scrivener's error in the entity's name in Section 1 to read 211-217 Broadway LLC. Mr. Booker, you moved the resolution. Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Excuse me?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Carroll?
Aye.
Mr. Perez?
Aye.
Ms. Weimer? Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
014 is amending Resolution 25-02-19099 and Ordinance 026-28 to correct the scrivener's error in the name of the redevelopment plan referencing in the whereas clauses. And it should it was identified as Kessler Fitness Redevelopment Plan, and it should state 958-968 Broadway Redevelopment Plan. Mr. Booker, will you move the resolution? Mr. Perez, will you second?
Second.
I'm getting tired. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R15 is approving the funding agreement with J.D. Homes Investment LLC. Would like to move it.
So move.
And a second?
Mr. Skellender, could you explain that to the public, please?
This is an escrow agreement where a developer is interested in talking to the city, and in order to fund our professionals, we asked it for a funding agreement that they go and fund our planners, lawyers, and engineers. That's what this agreement is.
Okay.
So it's not on the taxpayer's dollar.
Do you have an idea of what that would cost?
It's not on the cost. We're asking for $15,000 as a deposit for that to cover our professional costs. So if they're engaging with our planners, lawyers, engineers, financial advisors, there's money in the escrow account.
Thank you.
Who'd like to move? Second. On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R16 is moved by Councilmember Perez, approving the license agreement with Mahalakshmi Bayonne Urban Renewal LLC for the use of Block 751, Lot 1.14, and Lot 1.16, and the construction of the improvements on said property. Mr. La Palusa, will you second?
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R17 is awarding contract to Sims Municipal Recycling, Jersey City, New Jersey, for commingled recycling collection in the city for a period commencing March 14, 2026, and ending December 31st, 2026, for an amount not to exceed $125,000. Like to move it.
Second.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R18 is authorizing the submission of an application to the Hudson County Open Space Trust Fund for a total cost of $936,000, requested an amount $695,000 with a match of $241,000, and authorizing the appropriate city officials to sign any and all documents if approved. Would like to move it.
Move.
On the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R19 is authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into a contract with Beloved Community Charter School for summer camp and event transportation in an amount of $156,000. Would like to move it. And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
R20 and 21 have been withdrawn. I have a couple of add-ons. So the first add-on is from the Honorable Robert Kubert, Mayor, appointing the following individuals to the Historic Preservation Commission. I'd like to move it.
Move it.
Second.
And on that appointment, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
Add 2 is approving the appointment of a qualified municipal housing liaison as required by the Department of Community Affairs Affordable Housing Program.
Move.
And on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
And 3 is authorizing the use of the 3-year average for the reserve for uncollected tax calculations. Would like, second?
Second.
Three on the resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye.
I have two additional. Excuse me. Done. 1 second.
You can't do this one. Yeah.
Okay, so I only have one additional item. So it is approving the UEZ coordinator to coordinate submission of an additional UEZ funds, application for additional UEZ funds in the amount not to exceed $400,000 for the Bayonne UEZ streetscape project. Would like to move it. And on that resolution, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye. Is that it?
That's all I have.
Anybody else? Ms. Mack?
I should have raised my hand earlier. I apologize. I just wanted to say on the Hudson County Open Space application, it said that we had a match of $241,000, but in actuality, we had a meeting with them last week. That money will come from a prior grant, so we will not have any match. The match will come from a prior grant from the Hudson County Open Space Trust.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mack. Yes, ma'am.
Dawn Budmere, I live at 34 West 26th Street. On your 013, which I believe is the property on West 25th Street, right behind my house, where the Forum is.
Yes.
You guys, most of you have heard me before. I just want to state that
We
that's...
usually don't do this, but go ahead, I'll allow you to
That's a
speak.
10-story building that you guys have approved in the middle of a residential area that, and I know, Mr. La Palusa, you told me, well, it's going to give us the first 2 floors for youth. You totally disregarded the living and lifestyle of the people who live in those blocks, like me and my neighbors. And I just want to go on record. A lot of us have talked tonight about transparency and listening to the people. I really feel you haven't listened. You've done what you basically wanted to do for whatever reason. I respect your service. And I'm a Bayonne resident. Nobody can tell me I love Bayonne more than me, born and raised. My mom's 94, and she's born and raised. You're not considering us. You're considering a lot of other stuff. You're not considering us. And when I went to the voting booth, I thought of that.
Just before we close, for the sake of, the swan song, may as well say it now. One of the things I get most upset about is how uninformed some individuals can be about the legacy and where people stand on certain things. And this building, I was the loudest opponent of.
You telling me. I do.
I
remember you telling me.
I appreciate that. So, and I've often wished that the articles online and when we had newspapers, they would begin with, Carol opposed instead of council approved, but here we are. And so good luck to everyone. You've said your piece, I'm saying
We allowed you
mine.
to talk, and
Good
we have
luck.
to move on with things, but we
From-
understand.
That's right. From
And
what I
we-
understand, you're going to have, everybody agrees with you that's coming in, and let's hold them to it.
Okay.
I don't expect everybody to always agree, anyway.
Right, I understand. I would like to make a statement at the end of this. There are many things that happen. There are, all of us here will not be back after June. And I say that with a heavy heart. I've had a couple of health issues myself. I feel that very, very strongly that Mayor-elect Nadrowski should have all new people to choose from to have her council work with her. And so with that, I will not participate in the runoff. And next month will be my last month on the council. So congratulations to Mr. Gillen. It's okay. You want to say something? Okay, come on. Yeah, you can say something. Congratulations to Ms. Nadrowski and her team that have won. So congratulations.
I just want to say thank you for what you just announced, and I just wanted to say that I respect you and your service to the city of Bayonne and all the years and time that you put in, and each and every one of you on the board, on the council here tonight, that will work as hard as I can for every one of you, and I respect every single one of you as individuals and for your service to the city of Bayonne, and I'll do the same.
And if you
So,
need
thank you
anything
very
from
much.
us, my number's available anytime for you
Same.
to call.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. And I'd like to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day, and we'll see you all here for our last meeting in June. So,
A motion to adjourn? And a second?
second.
And on the motion to adjourn, Mr. Booker. Mr. Carroll. Mr. Perez. Ms. Weimer. Mr. La Palusa.
Aye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
That was good.